Employers' obligations during COVID-19. The UK law imposes certain obligations upon the employers, and these should be or should have been implemented as soon as practicable. Let's look at those obligations. Number one, the employers should take all reasonable steps to help people work from home. However, if it is not possible to work from home and their workplace has not been told to close, they should be working when their employer informs them their workplace will open. Number two, COVID-19 risk assessments will need to be carried out by the employers. How should they do this? This should be done in consultation with the relevant employees and workers or through the trade unions. What would be discussed? This will include discussion about what guidelines should be put in place for employees and workers. The employer should share the results of such risk assessments with their workforce. If possible, the employer should consider publishing these results on their websites. If the business has more than 50 employees, they will be expected to publish the results of risk assessments on their websites. Number three, workspaces should be redesigned to maintain distance of 2 meters between people wherever possible. This can be done by having employees start at different times, for example, providing one-way walkthroughs, changing seats layouts, and if possible, opening more doors for entrance and exit purposes. This will ensure minimum possibility of people coming into contact. If it is not possible to maintain 2 meters distance, the business should then consider managing the transmission risk. How could this be done? The businesses need to first consider whether a particular task or activity is necessary. If it is not necessary, the solution is straightforward. You do not need to carry out any such activity. If it has to be carried out, then mitigating measures should be put in place. How could this be achieved then? Number one, erect physical barriers in all shared spaces. Number two, make sure that people are spending minimum amount of time in proximity. Number three, make sure that people are facing away from each other. Number four, set up shift patterns to minimize close contact. Number five, fix teams for specific teams for certain times wherever possible. Main point number four, employers should clean the workplaces more frequently. There are particular objects which require extra attention. They include, for example, door handles, computer mouses and keyboards, touchscreen devices. The employers should provide sanitizing and hand washing facilities at entrances and exits. Any negligence may result in personal injury claims and employees resigning because of health and safety issues. Point number five, the employers should display the notice. The link to the notice has been given below in their workplaces where it is easily seeable by employees and visitors. Point number six, the employers should also provide additional parking facilities, for example, bike racks, wider spaces to assist people with disabilities, or limiting number of passengers in vehicles. This can be achieved, for example, by leaving some seats empty. Number seven, personal protective equipment should be provided in a limited circumstances and depending upon the individual situations of the employees. There could be serious consequences for failing to provide PPE, in particular where an employee may suffer from disability. However, this does not mean that precautionary use of PPE should be encouraged unless the risk of coronavirus transmission is very high. While face covering may be marginally beneficial as a precautionary measure, according to the government, clinical masks are generally reserved for healthcare sector. Employers should support their workers if they wish to wear PPE, including face masks. ACAS guidance states that if you are working from home, your employer should pay you as usual, keep in regular contact with you, and check on your health and well-being. The government recognizes that not everyone can work from home. Whether you can do so will depend on the nature of your employer's business and also on your particular role in that business. Generally, the government plan confirms that workers should continue to work from home wherever possible for the foreseeable future. If it is not possible for employees to work from home due to the nature of their role, they should attend their workplace. The plan also states that employees should avoid public transport and they should be encouraged to use alternative means to commute to work and urges people to consider cycling, walking or driving where possible. For those who have to use public transport, the guidance includes recommendations to keep 2 meters apart from others, wear a face covering, use contactless payments, and wash and sanitize hands as soon as possible before and after travel. All transport operators have been issued guidance. Our next lecture is on the point of testing employees. What are the considerations that the employers need to take into account, and whether the employees can refuse testing? See you in the next lecture.